بالنسبة لي بشكر اللجنة.
This meeting is being recorded.
بشكر اللجنة، لجنة المهندسين الأردنيين في المنطقة الشرقية، بالذات الدكتور عبد الكريم الجبالي والشباب مهندس رائد، وإن شاء الله المحاضرة تنال على إعجابكم. طبعا أنا بمثل الشركة في السعودية والبحرين. والآن السيد سيغفريد كوميلز راح يتحدث بإسهاب عن البروجكت. Mr. Sige, it's your mic now. You can start.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Sige.
Okay. All right. So yeah. First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to hold a presentation about terracotta cladding system, about terracotta facades, and I have here a presentation which gives an overview about what is terracotta and about cladding facades, some reference samples. So from this side, very warm welcome this evening to the world of terracotta facades. The content of this presentation is first to start with a short introduction about myself, about what is Arghaton, where I'm coming from, what is terracotta actually, and why we use terracotta for facade cladding. I have an overview about colors, shapes, about what the architectural possibilities, what we can do with the terracotta facades, with the material of terracotta. A short introduction into this cladding system of the rear ventilated, back ventilated facade systems, and finally some examples of reference projects, what we have made more or less all over the world. So you could say it's terracotta is a very international product, and we sell it in many countries in the world. So just my person, Siegfried Gummels, short Z. I'm from education, I'm a civil engineer and working as the international sales director for the Arghaton facade systems since 2001. So I'm in this business since more than 20 years now. And before that, I also worked for facade cladding but then in terms of substructure aluminium supporting systems. So I also know a little bit about the background, the substructure, the supporting, the subframes for the Arghaton, for the terracotta, not only for terracotta but also for other cladding materials. So I have a long experience in this field, I must say. Just what is Arghaton? I don't to tell many things about Arghaton, about Wienerberger. Just for you that you have an overview. What is Arghaton? Arghaton is the brand of Wienerberger. Wienerberger is the largest clay tile manufacturer in the world. Wienerberger is based in Austria, in Vienna, a company more than 200 years old, with focus on clay tiles for roof and for wall, also pavers, Arghaton also to say facade cladding It's the Arghaton business. It's only a small business, small part of Arghaton, of Wienerberger. Their main business is roof tiles, bricks, etc. So they have more than 230 factories in the world, more than 15,000 employees. It's an international shareholder company. So that you just get an overview. What is Arghaton? We're not a small company. There's a little more behind us with a lot of clay experience. And coming back to terracotta, terracotta from the word, from the meaning of the word, it's Italian and means cooked earth, cooked ground. So that's terracotta, and in as facade cladding, terracotta, yes, it is, so to say, facade cladding in its best form. And we'll show you some examples later. Yeah, what different forms, what colors, what shapes are possible with the terracotta cladding. So it's very multifaceted, so to say, and very architectural. Some pictures of some big projects we made in the last 2-3 years. This one in the left-hand side, that is it's the Atlas Tower in London in the UK. That's a project in Vienna in Austria. That's Mr. Maher's favorite project in the car park in Bahrain Airport, which we made 3 years ago in 2019. Yeah, what is terracotta? How do we produce that? Where does it come from? And it's it's a product feature. So as you can see here on these pictures, so we dig it out of the ground. So this is a typical pit where we get the raw material, the clay, and we use that raw material then and for firing, drying, or forming, drying, firing, and after we've used this material, so this then has to be brought back to nature. So as it is visible here on this photo, this is actually a photo from our plant in Germany. Here in the background there is the factory, and this was an old clay pit where we got the clay from, and then it has brought back to the nature. So this is now a small lake, and fishes are living in there, and so that's a main criteria that we have to. So we get the material from the earth, and then it has to be brought back to the nature. Yeah, if you have any questions, sorry, I forget to say that. If you have any questions, please just interrupt me. I cannot see you, so if just interrupt me and ask, and I hope I can answer them. From the production process, it is so that we dig the ground, we dig the clay out of the ground and bring it then into the factory, where we prepare it, where it is proportioned, where it then is being grinded, rolled, mixing. So all the time, very often, that we have to mix it in order to get a homogeneous quality, and that's very important, this phase. And then it comes to extrusion, or if it is roof tiles, it's a pressings, it's special forms. But we are working here like bricks with extrusion. That means that there is an extruder, and then that presses the clay through a special tool to a special die, which gives the form of the profile. After that, it moves into drier chambers, where the tiles then are getting dry. They have to be in these chambers for approximately 36-48 hours. We dry them with temperatures of 90 to 100 degrees Celsius. And after drying, then they go into the firing kiln. There is one step here in between, which can happen in the case when we have to glaze, when we have to give the special color on the surface of the tile. That happens here in between, and then that is then fired together with the tile to a homogeneous facade tile. And then after it's fired, we then have additionally to cut them to the exact length what is needed, and then it goes to the different construction sites. So that is in principle the production process. This is one chamber what we have here in the factory, where we have I don't know what color that is. We use different clays for different colors. So this is the raw material, and this is a view into the firing kiln. So the tiles are moving through these kiln on rolls, and you see here in the background there is the fire. It's fired with gas, and we have a temperature of what's fired normally with a temperature of 1100 to 1200 degrees Celsius. The firing time is approximately 6 to 7 hours, and that means, of course, that we are producing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because it's not possible to switch off the kiln in the evening and to switch it on in the next morning, because it takes too long to cool. It takes approximately when we switch off the kiln, it takes 3 or 4 days until it's cooled down, and it takes also 3 or 4 days until we have it heated up. This is a view on the factory as such, where that's a kiln which is 80 meters or 90 meters long, and here we have the facilities in this area, in this factory. That is the principle of terracotta. So it's a raw material coming out of the ground. And why terracotta? So terracotta, as we all know, is a material which is known since more than 2,000 years, and so it has a very long. We have a long experience in using this material, and the big advantages of that material is that we have a high sustainability, a long life durability. That means that the terracotta tile as such has a lifetime, I don't know, 100 years, 200 years or so. Excuse me? Okay, so that's has a very long
Mr. Collins, can you unmute yourself?
Mr. Siga, are you there? Mr. Siga. Hello.
Yeah, I don't know where my microphone was switched off. I don't know what happened there.
No, no, okay, now we can hear you. Just go back. Sorry, by mistake.
I'm sorry for that. So that I don't know where we
yes, start from there.
From here. Okay. So yeah, sorry for that. So we have high sustainable material, a high sustainable product. It's the system as such is more or less maintenance free. The whole cladding system with the aluminium substructure system is so once it is installed, it's properly installed, it stands for the next 50, 60, 70 years. It is frost resistant. It's a very main criteria here in Europe. And it is fire resistant. So it has already been fired, and the system as such is fire resistant. We passed last year, 2 years ago, we passed the certification of for the Emirates for the Dubai Civil Defense, I think was the name. They need special certification, and we made a fire test and we passed that. So that's a document that shows it is absolutely fire resistant. The whole system as such is recyclable. That means all the material can be brought back into the cycle. We have a high breaking strength. That is due to the quality of the clay we have. That's a very high quality we have. We fire it with high temperatures, and that leads to a high breaking strength. We have a special test procedure with a ball shot test with a handball and with a hockey ball, which has been shot against a facade, and we passed that test. So terracotta has a high breaking strength. You can use terracotta for new construction, of course, but you can also use it for refurbishment. We have a lot of projects in Europe which are, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 years old, having some facade cladding with fiber cement or aluminium or whatever, and they have to be renovated, and they need what we need here is a lot of heat insulation, and we can use this this terracotta material as a cladding for renovation as well. It's usable for all heights, for all building heights. So we have small buildings, we have high buildings, higher than 100 meters or even more. So that's no limitation. And yeah, last but not least, it's a product what is made in Germany, so that also stands very often for high quality. It's a really high quality material, and it is, yeah, it's multifaceted, and it is architectural. In terms of colors, in terms of shapes, and also in terms of installation. So when we look into the colors, we have natural colors, which are coming out directly from the clay. These are normally red, but also yellow, sand colors, gray colors. There is the option to glaze a color, to glaze the tile, that you get a glossy surface, that you get different colors. There is an option to have the color patinated or shaded, that it gives a different look, and it looks more, so to say, more lively. And there's a further option, what we call digital printing, so that you can print a design, a complete different design on the surface of the tile. That can be a design of wood, or can be a design of metal or stone. So that a lot of options possible. And then we have the option to play with the shape of the tile. So from the origin, from the beginning of this terracotta facades, there were only flat panels, small sizes, 40 centimeter long, 20 centimeter high. And that was 30 years ago. And now during the time, there was more and more development in terms of bigger sizes, but then also in terms of more profiled surfaces, not only flat tiles, so profiled surfaces, as you can see that here, for example, like this, so triangles on top, or with grooves on it, or with there are a lot of options possible. We now have, meanwhile, more than 350 different extrusion dies what we made in the last years. Many of them used only for one project, where the architects had special demands on the profile, on the shape, and that is possible to fulfill these the design, the ideas from the architect, to fulfill that with a special extrusion die, and to make forms like these triangles, or that can be waves, or there's I would say the limit is the sky, but that's not completely true. But there are a lot of possibilities what you can do with terracotta. What is not possible to do that with other material, with aluminium, or with fiber cement, or with natural stone. These are normally all flat, plain elements. And then, in terms of installation, there are two options. Originally, it was only in a horizontal orientation installed. That means, so we have the tiles, they are longer and not that high. And then, since a couple of years, we have also the vertical installation, so that the tiles that they have a vertical orientation. I'm sorry, my telephone is ringing. I can't find it. Excuse me, please. So that these are the options what you have with terracotta. So it's very architectural. it's multifaceted. So you have, as an architect, you can really play with this material. And on the next screen, sorry, I can show it like it's a little bit better now. So you also see here the different color options, variation, shading in glazes, or here color variation on flat tiles. Or this, for example, is something where we, together with the architect, developed special colors. That is a project in America, in the US, was a hospital. And demand was, here we have, so the whole building has, it's like a triangle, has 3 corners. We have this blue, this yellow one. We have here a blue one. We have on the other side there is a red one, and we have here the ground floor green. And yeah, the demand was to have a special mix of 3 different yellows, of 3 different greens, 3 different blue, and 3 different red, and that in combination here with some white and some black tiles. And that's something what is possible to do that with terracotta. So that of course requires a special development of color, of the color pigments for the glazing. That's not very easy to develop colors because that usually works on the basis of experimentation. So that means try and fail. We know roughly how to do that, but it's always then interesting to see the result, what comes out when the tile has been fired, and then we say, okay, it was a little bit too much of the red, a little bit less from that, and a little bit more of this. That's a very interesting job to develop colors. But that's something what is what happens very often. Though there are a lot of standard colors, there are a lot of standard glazed colors, but there is still an option to make an individual color development. And you see here, this is a typical horizontal installation. This also, in this case, these are sunscreens, louvers, also many different colors. All the different shapes, the different surfaces. On the top, there is this one photo. This is the project, what was made with these tiles. So we have here a standard flat tile, and we have here, in the same size of the tile, we have here different surfaces, profile surfaces, here with narrow lines, a little bit wider, and here more wide, so only some small lines. And due to this different texture on the surfaces, it gives a different look. So this tile, it's always the same color, but this tile appears much darker than that one. So it is, as you see here on the top lip, it's always the same color, and then it comes to this result at the end. Or another example with different shapes, with different profiles. This is the overview about a wavy surface with different dimensions. So all of them are different, and the idea from the architect was that they can, every tile, every profile can be combined with the other, so that it then gives a different surface and a different view. So from big waves to smaller waves and so on. Very interesting. It was a very interesting project. and also the color in this case was a special development. So that's something what is possible with terracotta. Coming to the system of the back ventilated facade system, which is very popular in Europe, North Europe, middle of Europe, where we always have an air gap between the cladding, which is here the red. Then we have here an air gap, insulation, yes or not. The bearing wall can be concrete, whatever. So, and this air gap is the main criteria of this back ventilated facade system. So here is an air circulation, and with this air circulation, it helps that the water protection, moisture control, thermal insulation, and preventing heat accumulation. And it works in both directions. So we here in the north, we are interested in the wintertime to keep the warmth in the building and to keep the cold outside. That works with this system very well. With here heat insulation, we have this air gap here. There is an air circulation, but it works. Excuse me. But it works also in the other way. If you install this system in hot areas, then it helps to keep the colder temperatures inside of the building and to keep the heat, the warmth, out of the building. So it works in both directions. That is I think that is the biggest advantage of these back ventilated facade systems. And we have here the cladding, the terracotta, and then we have here the substructure, which is usually made of aluminium. Wall brackets fixed here to the backside wall. We have here T profiles, or we have angle profiles with horizontal rails. That is, that's different from case to case, from building to building, and that's also something what has to be calculated, statically calculated, because this system has to take all the loads, wind loads, etc. And that's the system. So we offer two different types, depending on what tile size it is used. So can be only vertical T sections, or it can be a combination of vertical aluminium angles and horizontal rails. And that is so if you have long tiles, then this system is more effective. Smaller sizes, this system is more effective, but that is something what has to be decided from case to case. But that is the principle of the system, and that's not only for terracotta, for all types of cladding material. Can also be for trespa, HPL, or fiber cement, or aluminium, or glass, or all the materials. So the principle of the system is always the same. He has also mentioned sound protection. This system gives also sound protection. and that's very interesting. We made a special test last year where we have also the documents, and that gives the sound protection when there is a lot of sound, a lot of noise outside. So that also helps. Yeah, fire protection, of course, yes. Yeah, coming to some reference projects we made in the last years, especially ones, beautiful ones, with bespoke profiles. This is one in London, in the UK, the St. Ives office building, where they used this special tile, and that was installed in a vertical orientation in a special white glazed color. That was the one what I just mentioned here with the different wave profiles. So that's looks interesting. It's all terracotta. Also terracotta installed here, in this case vertically, with a combination of these two profiles. Special glazed color, what we developed, and there is a color variation, but the color variation actually comes from the different shapes, from the different profiles. That was the Atlas Tower. That's the Atlas Tower in London, in the UK. In this case, traditionally flat tiles, horizontally installed, but special glazes, special colors, what we, with the architects together, developed at the factory. So we have here special, some reds and dark red, goes into pink, all these different white and yellow tiles, all of that a special development. That's it's also a very interesting project. Golden glazed, so it reflects the light. So it's only, we are talking about these areas here. This is natural stone, but this area is terracotta. And it doesn't look like terracotta, but it is. And it is a golden glaze, and you see it here, where a different light is. So the light reflection is very different. So here in the top area, it looks different from here. This is the profile, a triangle. Very interesting project, made 3 years ago. That's one we just completed last year with standard barrows, standard baguettes, 50 by 50 louvers in, I don't remember how many different colors, but you see that here. These are actually standard colors and vertically installed. Excuse me. The whole system, the whole building was, I think, 14,000 linear meters of these elements. Bahrain International Airport were some projects we made there, fire station and the super gate. This one was the biggest, with the car park of the airport, made or planned with vertically installed louvers, which are here. So these are 3 elements of 1.10 m or 15 or so, spanned from one floor to the next, and in, I don't remember, 5 or 6 different colors. This is terracotta as well. Normally, as you can see it here, standard flat elements, and here we have these louvers again in this area. That's not a typical facade cladding. So it's not a closed facade cladding. So it's open and gives, because these elements are installed under 45 degrees, so come different from where you see, from what view you look. Here it looks like it is a closed facade, and here it is, you can see that it is open, so that you can see through these elements. Very nice project, a very big one. Yeah, then I'm already at the end of my presentation. So with the firework at the end. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sigi.
I hope I could give you an overview about terracotta, what is possible to do with terracotta, how we can work with terracotta, what options terracotta offers for architecture, and it's a real architectural product. And I'm hoping very much that I could inspire you a little bit for your next facade projects. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sigi. And again, gentlemen, if there is any question, please feel free to ask. He is ready to answer any question, either in English or if I will answer it in Arabic.
شباب الله يعطيكم العافية. Anyone he need to ask, he can raise the hand to open the mic for him. Or he can use the chat also.
What I will do is I will forward this presentation. I will confirm that to a PDF file, and we'll send that to you, Mr. Maher, and then you can forward that to all these gentlemen who were listening, so that they get they then have an as a reminder, and that's I think that's possible.
Okay, Mr. Ibrahim. Mr. Ibrahim, he has something.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you for the presentation. I have 3 questions, please. First one, what's about the thickness of the panels? So we need to understand about the weight.
Yeah. So if we go for a flat tile, the thickness of the tile is 24 millimeters. That means we have a weight of 33 kg per square meter. If we go for profile tiles, which are thicker, then so they can be 65, 70 millimeters thick, then we are reaching a weight of 60, 55, 60, a little bit more maybe than 60 kilogram per square meter. So that's the area of the weight. That is, honestly, sir, that's a small disadvantage of terracotta. It has a high weight, not compared to natural stone, but compared to aluminium, of course, yes. But we still have higher wind loads what the system has to carry than the vertical loads. So from that point of view, this is something what we can handle with.
Okay. The other thing, please, regarding the high temperature.
Yeah.
What you are presenting, only projects mainly in Europe and only one project in Bahrain airport. I don't know if you have completed project in KSA or ongoing projects that we can see.
Yeah, we have the reason that I have presented only the projects in Europe, respectively this one in Bahrain, is that I only have good photos of that. We did several projects in Kuwait, also very big ones. They are not. In principle, yeah, the projects are good, but they are not that architectural highlights. That's the reason that I don't have them in the presentation. We have projects in Bahrain, in Kuwait. We have projects we made the first in Qatar, also for the World Cup, Football World Cup, football stadium. We have. Yeah, unfortunately, there's until now there is no project in KSA at this time being, but in other these hot areas, also in India, we have projects where we not only have the hot temperatures but also a high humidity, which is yeah, even worse. So if you, yeah, what I can do is provide you with the information about the other projects we made, for example, in Kuwait or in other areas in the Gulf countries.
Okay, thank you. The last thing, please, regarding the price, you are not indicating any comparison with the other materials such aluminium cladding. If we compare it to aluminium, how we can see the difference?
The prices for aluminium have increased very much in the last months. Normally, yeah, it depends what you are comparing. So if we are comparing a flat aluminium element and a flat aluminium sheet and a flat terracotta tile, we are more or less in the same area. So there's not a very big difference. Of course, when we come to more architectural design, then of course it becomes more expensive, or special colors. Then we are a little bit more expensive than aluminium. But normally, or if you compare it with fiber cement, we are more or less on the same level. Also with natural stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim.
Thank you, Engineer.
Any other question, gentlemen?
We have Mr. Mazen. Just 1 minute. Mazen.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Mazen. We can hear you.
We could hear you.
Mr. Mazen?
He's lost.
Yes, Mr. Mazen, we can see you now. Unmute. We cannot hear you, Mr. Mazen. No.
You have to unmute your micro.
Yes, unmute your... Mr. Mazen, unmute your mic.
I cannot.
Now,
Okay, now. Okay. Thank you very much, my friend, for your nice presentation and using this new product, especially for the cladding. I'm asking about what is the effect for the temperature? Is there any effect for the temperature for this kind of material? And can you please elaborate in some more buildings? Is it accessible for big buildings or small buildings, my friend? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mazen. It is you can use this material in principle for all kinds of buildings. We have cases where we have only small buildings, but we have also cases where we have high-rise buildings, big buildings. It can in principle be used for all types of buildings. Regarding your question to the temperature, it is so that the system of this back ventilation, that there is an air gap between the cladding material and the building, that there is always an air circulation that helps that the temperature inside of the building, or that helps to keep the colder temperatures, in your case, to keep the colder temperatures inside the building and to keep the higher, the hot temperatures outside of the building. It's the same principle as we have that here in Germany or in Europe, where we do not want to freeze in the winter times. So it's the same principle. So that's in terms of temperatures. So it helps to gives an air condition, so to say, and and you can use it for all types of buildings. We have small ones, we have big ones, and everything more or less, you can say.
Thank you. We can check with Engineer Farid. Engineer Farid Abu Dhabi.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. Yeah, good evening. How are you, gentlemen? Thank you for your presentation. Very nice. It's a new product here in I hope it can be work in Saudi Arabia. Now I have one question already answered before. Now, my second question, this material can be fixed on the normal hollow blocks. Normally here, they build the walls with the hollow blocks, and of course, with the, then they fix the aluminum cladding on this. Is it possible to do like the same?
Yeah, in principle, yes.
But I think it's because of the heavy weight, it should be.
Yeah, it might be, but yeah, normally the wind loads, so wind pressure.
Yeah.
Wind pressure is higher than so that's the normally what makes the what is the criteria for the calculation of the anchors of the dowels. But yeah, normally might be that you need one or two wall brackets more in comparison to aluminium. But in principle, it works also on these hollow blocks. Of course, it is easier to anchor for the anchors, for the fasteners, if you have concrete as a bearing wall. That's for sure. But it works also. It works on hollow blocks, and that's a system. It has to be calculated.
Yeah.
So the dowels, what you use, they have a limited load what they can carry, and that has to be calculated. Principally, it's not a problem.
Okay. Second question is it repairing? Is it easy for suppose any piece of that one got damaged? Easy to repair, like if you compare it to aluminum, just remove the one plate and fix it again.
Yep.
But how about this with this? How about this in this type of material? Is it easy to repair it?
Yes. It's quite easy. So you can. So if a tile is broken,
yeah,
because a car run into the facade. Normally that's the only thing what can happen. And if a tile is broken, it's very easy to replace that. So to dismount this broken tile and to replace that with a new tile without moving the other tiles. So you can easily replace one tile in the facade. Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, I think that's all of my question. Thank you very much. Appreciate your efforts and effort to support. Very nice.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you also. Do you have any plan to any project in Saudi Arabia coming so that we can see it?
Good question. Mr. Maher knows possibly more.
I hope I'm here in Bahrain and coming to Saudi frequently, so I'm ready to discuss anything. Till now, we don't have anything, but hoping, inshallah, with your support and your efforts, we can have some projects. Why not? But the project in Bahrain, the Bahrain airport, you can come anytime and call me. We will go there and visit and explain anything and everything to you. The Bahrain airport, it's a car park. It's you can go easily.
I see. Okay, I hope so. We can get new projects in Saudi Arabia and we can see it again over here also. And if I have a time, I can pass to Bahrain, inshallah, because we have to get visa and so many formalities to go to Bahrain.
Mr. Farid, and
yes.
I do have a sample, even a part, like let's say part of the wall, and it's a display sample where can explain the whole system. If you are, I will call you later and we can manage and can visit you in Saudi, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Or you come to Germany and see the
that's my best aim.
Inshallah, maybe later we will arrange a visit.
Inshallah.
For everybody to Germany. Why not?
Do you participate in BOMA?
In what?
In BOMA in Germany. Munich. You know
Oh
that?
no, we are the factory. The factory is placed in the east, in the triangle of Germany, Poland, Czech Republic. So in the east part of Germany. So it's but it's a very nice area there. Historic, very old town, very beautiful. And the reason is that the factory is there. That is an area where we have, from the past there were many ceramic companies, so producing ceramic, porcelain and these things, and because the clay, what is here,
the raw material
is of high quality. And that's the reason that the factory is here.
The raw material is available there. Yeah.
We have the raw material. We have two kinds of raw material. We have one on it's our own properties directly at the factory, and then there is another area in Germany. It's more in the west, north of Frankfurt. That's a very well-known area for high quality clay as well, for white and for sand colors. So when these clays are fired, then they turn their color into white, into sand, into gray, and that's also an area where we get our clay from.
Okay, good. I have one more question. Since you are talking, I have one more question. What is the production cycle from the raw material until you deliver the material to the site? Are you ready to delivery for the site? What's the production cycle?
In terms of delivery times,
the standard one. No, the standard one. Yeah, I mean to say, how many times we need to take from the raw material started until the finished product is ready to delivery for the sites?
So the raw material, digging out the raw material, mixing, grinding, drying. So normally we have this raw material that is prepared already. So that takes a certain time. That we have that on stock in a big warehouse, so to say, and then we take that material from. So when we have that material, so we take that. And then the production is, or the capacity of the production is 500 square meters per day. That means extruding, drying. The drying takes, let's say, 1.5 days. Extruding 1 day, drying 1.5 days. Another day for firing, maybe glazing, then it's a little bit longer. So normally 4, 5, 6 days.
Yeah, in 1 week.
More or less, yes. So that's a production cycle. However, in terms of delivery time, that is not the delivery time. If you would receive tomorrow an order from you, then of course we are not able to deliver then a week later, because there are some other orders already waiting. So and what we always have to consider is when we produce, when we make our production schedule, when we make our production plan, to combine the same colors, so that we say, okay, we have now all red colors, or then we go into gray colors or white colors. Not to change too much in the facilities then, and to save a little bit of time. Normally today we have the delivery time of approximately 12 weeks, plus shipping time from Germany to Saudi Arabia, which is another don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so.
Oh, I see.
That's
Okay.
something. But I think that is something what is what can be dealt with. That's
Oh,
when we are in the design phase and planning the project, and so when we have the schedule, when shall what delivered, then we can say, okay, then we block a certain period in our production schedule for that order, and that we then are able to deliver in time.
very good, very good, very good. Is it now famous, this one in Europe? Let's say this type of material now started spreading. The people they start knowing about this material, and they start using it in their buildings, or still too early.
Yeah, it is quite popular. Yeah, since years. So this product, or this kind of product, terracotta facade cladding product, has been developed nearly 40 years ago. So we already have a lot of experience, and it became more and more trendy, more and more popular, I would say, in the last 10 years, with all the possibilities, with all the facilities, what we have, so that we can do so many different colors, different glazes, special color effects, special profiles. That became more and more possible in the last, I would say, the last 10, 12 years, and that's now it's a product. What we have a lot of inquiries, a lot of projects, coming projects, or inquiries, demands from architects all over the world for not only for flat panels, but also for special profiles, wave profiled in a special, let's say, green color, a little bit shaded, or whatever. So it's quite popular at the moment. Yes, can really say that.
Okay, thank you very much. Nice to talk to you and to other gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Farid. Thank you very much.
I wish to see you again, huh?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
All right.
Mr. Wright?
So if there are any further questions, and otherwise, as I said, I will send that presentation to you, Mr. Maher, and then you can forward to all these gentlemen, and that everyone has that.
Okay then. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Sure. Just to include the contact details. So if any of our engineers need further information or something to share with you, so he can contact you for sure.
Yes, he can contact either Mr. Siga directly or contact me on my contact list, where I gave you already. And I will contact everybody, inshallah.
Yeah. Mr. Maher is our official authorized sales partner in the area of Bahrain and in Saudi Arabia, and so he is so to say our local agent, and all questions, all what you need, he is your first contact person.
Thank you.
طيب, last thing, I think Mr. Walid Horani, he need to ask something.
Yes, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Special thanks to Siegfried. Special thanks because I have studied in Germany and know the quality and all these things from Germany. I studied in Aachen.
All right. So we can talk German.
Now, yes. Ja. Ich habe in Deutschland studiert.
Yeah, we can continue in English, no problem.
Yes, okay. We have to continue in English.
Yeah.
My question is regarding the isolation.
Yes.
What is the U value you can achieve with this product? The best U value you can achieve?
That's
Is
a
there
good
any
question.
calculations?
That's a good question. Normally,
Actually, I am working in the aluminum field. I am trying to compare this with this.
Yeah. It is so that if you do this calculation, there's for the heat insulation, the cladding material as such does not have influence in this calculation. So we start. They start with the air gap and then with the heat insulation
Yes.
with the material, the mineral wool or so. So the cladding material, they do not make any difference whether it is aluminium or it is ceramics or it is HPL or whatever. So from that point of view, there is
the aluminum. Well, it has a big influence, especially when it is thermal isolated.
Yeah, the aluminium. Yeah, but the aluminium is aluminium as a metal. Of course, has not that good values like a terracotta, like a stone.
Yes.
But that is how they calculate it in Germany or in Europe. Don't know how they calculate it in other countries. But of course, the ceramic as such has high values, but from the theory they say because we have open joints and then the cladding does not go into this calculation.
Okay. Because I know as per the regulations in Germany, every metal should have a certain U value, and you need for sure you have some values for these products.
Yeah, but we do not calculate with them, honestly said.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, but normally they do not calculate with the values for the ceramics. They have, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yes, they should have.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question. From your experience, is it possible to make this this kind of product out of our sand, Sahara sand?
I don't believe that. I don't know. It's not sand. We need some sand. We need some sand. We have some sand as additives
Yes.
in the clay, and that's right. But I don't think I don't know. Never thought about that. To use the sand from the Sahara. What I have heard that the sand from your desert cannot be used for concrete. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I think it's.
I don't know if anyone has tried this or not. I don't think.
I have no idea. No idea. I don't know. We got some sand. We got some Sahara sand last week here in Europe with the wind, and it fell down with the rain. And all our cars were had a dust all over. It was very interesting. The Sahara dust, what we had last week here, happens from time to time.
It's coming all the way to Germany.
Yeah, coming. Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah,
this is new.
Yeah. It's a very fine dust from the Sahara sand, And yeah, I think it has to be special weather conditions, and it happens from time to time, not that often, but maybe every 2, 3, 4, 5 years or so. And then it's in the sky, and then when rain comes, then it's being washed out. And so it was last week Thursday, when I had my car outside, and yeah, it was was more yellow than black. Very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Vielen Dank. Thank you.
Gerne.
Thanks to all.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Walid. Thank you, Engineer Maher, and of course our guest, Mr. Glazed. This is a happy event that we are glad to host you again in the near future. Thank you for all to attend, and see you in the next activity organized by the Jordanian Engineers Committee in the Eastern area in Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much, everybody. Hope to see you again, inshallah, next event.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye, and
Bye.
stay safe.